Welcome back to Tcam Sports Podcast. I'm Cameron Tracewell. On this show, we talk about football and basketball primarily. It's the two sports. We'll highlight on a little bit of others, baseball, a little bit hockey, on when there's major news going on in those sports. Possibly WWE here in the future. Might do our own little show about that. But really, and if you're joining us, this is football, this is basketball, this is NBA, this is NCAA basketball, NFL, and NCAA football. Tons of news. A little early for NCAA football right now and the NFL. However, the NBA just ended. So, looking into our what happened in the NBA playoffs, the shocking stuff that went on, and the NBA finals. So, NBA playoffs has been concluded. The Boston Celtics beat the Dallas Mavericks. Throughout the playoffs, we saw some surprising teams. The Denver Nuggets, the Knicks, who were seriously injured, played great. What about the Pacers? Pacers, Siakam, Miles Turner, Tyrese Halliburton. That was fun to watch. The Orlando Magic, where are they going to be next year? Are they on the rise? It's going to be fun. And that honestly, it's shocked because Orlando was not a team coming into last year I thought was going to be any good. And they were a pretty decent team and took Cleveland to 7 games. So, to me, I liked where Orlando ended up. Milwaukee was a disappointment this year. Oklahoma City getting beat in the second round. I was disappointed with that. Denver losing in the second round to the Timberwolves, even though the Timberwolves are a pretty good team. I was a little bit disappointed. Overall, there were disappointing teams, and there were some great teams, right? And there were some great performances. So, looking at it, to look at the matchups and just go through it real quickly, to how far we got. And what were the best series? I think the top contention so we're going to mention the best series in each conference, and then we'll just rank them from after that. The Knicks and the Pacers are number 1. Cleveland, Orlando, that's another good series. It really, and I hate to say it, for me, you could say Boston and probably Indiana, maybe. If that might be. I know it didn't end the way everybody wanted to, but there were 2 games the Pacers probably could have pushed it to 7. I mean, it was possibly they could have, but those are really the only 2, is the Knicks and the Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic in the Eastern Conference. So those are 2 I would really go with. In the Western Conference, we could say the Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. We could say the Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways we go, and we go with Denver and the Nuggets. So I mean, there's a lot more. So Denver and the Timberwolves, definitely. Clippers and Mavericks, definitely. I think those are the 2 best series. So we got 4 series. So to rank those 4 series and each order, Denver and the Timberwolves are number 1. 7 games, hard fought, defending Nuggets, looking to try to get back to the conference finals and try to get back to the NBA finals. Go up against this young squad with Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, who was Defensive Player of the Year, and Karl Anthony Towns. And when the moment seemed highest when Denver was leading in Game 7 by a landslide, blew it to the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's the best series. 7 games, that was the best series I have seen. That was easily the best series in the entire NBA playoffs. Outside the finals, outside of all of it. That was the best series I had seen. The second best series, it's close. It's close. It's an Eastern Conference team. I personally would go with Cleveland and Orlando. And I know a lot of people say the Knicks and the Pacers was a great series. Cleveland, outside of really Jared Allen, was healthy. And Orlando was healthy. And Orlando, in Game 7, looked incredible in the first half. I thought for sure Orlando was going to beat them after their first half performance. The same thing happened to Orlando. Donovan Mitchell grew up, and he took it over. And Darius Garland played better. And Max Strus played better. And they came back in these playoffs. And they came back and they won Game 7 against Orlando. It matched them up against Boston. Boston beat them, but that was the second best series, I think, in the entire playoffs. The third, we look at it, it's tough. This is where it gets tough because the Knicks were hurt, right? Playing the Pacers. The Pacers were healthy. The Knicks, they didn't have Julius Randle. They didn't have Mitchell Robinson. Josh Hart was averaging 13 rebounds a game against, Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner. A great tall duo. He was playing great. You had Dante DiVincenzo playing great. Jalen Brunson playing great. Game 7 was a spoiler because Jalen Brunson gets hurt. Dante's leading the way. Anunoby is getting hurt throughout this series. There's no Mitchell Robinson. There's no Julius Randle. Everybody's hurt. So for me, the Pacers kind of can easily dominate Game 7 because Jalen Brunson finally was finished. It was finished for him. The Clippers and the Mavericks, though, it was Kawhi Leonard got hurt, yes, but that was also expected. James Harden and Paul George put on a great performance and a great series. Got to give it up for the Dallas series and Luka and Kyrie, how they played through these entire playoffs. That's my third best team, best matchup, and then the fourth would be the Knicks and the Pacers. However, for the 4 series and the 4 games that we talked about right there, there's nothing better than the Minnesota and Denver series. There was nothing better to me. Even the NBA Finals. The NBA Finals, it was okay, but it wasn't what it needed to be. I thought it would be a lot better. So that was the best series overall in the entire playoffs. Now, talking about the finals, the Boston Celtics versus Luka and Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Man, incredible performance by Jason Tatum. Only player to average 30 and 10 in a Boston Celtics uniform in the NBA Finals. Incredible. Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is probably the best player on the Boston Celtics. I know that's a controversial topic. I know people are going to say, it's Jason Tatum, man. Tatum deserved it. Look what you just said. He averaged 30 and 10. He had a great series. This and that, yada, yada, yada. Jaylen Brown was better through the first two games. He was easily the best player in the first 2 games. Jaylen Brown was the best player through the entire playoffs. He's the most consistent player the Boston Celtics have had. Jason Tatum, he has great nights. Jason Tatum, we should be talking about him all the way up here. Yes, he is first team All-NBA. Yes, he had a great season. But to me, Jaylen Brown, when it matters most, is the most consistent player in the playoffs. He's the most consistent player to me. That's why he deserved Finals MVP. That's why he won Finals MVP. He is consistent every time. It doesn't matter if you have a big night and then an off night, and a big night and then an off night, a big night and off night, then a couple big nights and then a couple off nights. Jaylen Brown is consistent every single time. He's always getting it done. So for me, Jaylen Brown deserved Finals MVP. Well, I think Jason Tatum, win a couple more Finals. Will he win a Finals MVP of his own? Of course I think he will. Of course I do. But for right now, to me, Jaylen Brown's the best player on that team. You might say otherwise. Everybody's going to give you some historic run about Jason Tatum. Okay, great. What do we hold against Jason Tatum? He's not an MVP. He's been to the NBA Finals twice. He's lost once. Jaylen Brown's included in that. He's won one, but he hasn't won Finals MVP. And everybody's going to hold that against him until he wins Finals MVP. And then the things that made Jason Tatum worse, right? Trying to pose the Kobe pictures, saying the Kanye stuff after the game. Like, I get it, he won the championship and everything, but can he do something original for himself? You know what I mean? Do something original for yourself. Make it memorable for yourself. Jason Tatum, he has a chance to be an all-great player, and I think Jaylen Brown does too. But Jason Tatum is not on the level I think he should be in our eyes. Like, I think he should be on that LeBron James 08, the 08 level, right? Or like the 08 hype that he had. I think Jason Tatum should be on all these levels, but he's not there yet. So, will Jason Tatum get there? Yes. And I know people are like, what else are you going to say about him? That he didn't win a Finals MVP. That's the last thing that I can say about him. Is he a great player? Yes. But do I think does he need more consistency? Yes. I think Jaylen Brown's just more consistent. That is the NBA Finals. That's what I thought about. And it's been a while since I've been on here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering where I've been with sports, I do another show called the Countdown304 here on YouTube. It is me and Hunter Schrader. We cover pretty much all topics of sports. So, like I said, primarily this one is football and basketball. We are talking about the big main sports. Maybe a little bit WWE here in the future. Might be something you're all interested into. We might get into. It might be fun. But we're talking about basketball and we are talking about football on here. This is that show for that. The other one, the Countdown 304, what do we cover? We cover everything. I mean everything. From football to basketball a little bit, right? To hockey, to baseball, to tennis, to WWE, to UFC, to MLS. We cover it all. So if you're interested in just seeing more than football and basketball, go to the Countdown 304 here on YouTube. Every single week, you're going to get a pitch of new topics, new things we're talking about, new sports. We just came off NBA and NHL. We're on to MLS. We're on to MLB. We're on to Wimbledon here soon. We are on to Olympics coming up. So we're going to be jumping into a whole bunch of variety of sports. Right now, for us here, the NBA just ended. Are you ready to talk about college football? Are you ready to talk about them West Virginia Mountaineers? Is Garrett Green better than Shadir Sanders? Ooh, that's a big topic. Is Ryan Day going to be able to win the national championship? Maybe, maybe not. What about Kirby Smart? Is Kirby Smart the best coach in football since Nick Saban has left? Lincoln Riley joining the Big Ten? James Franklin and Penn State? How are they going to figure out since Jim Harbaugh left Michigan and went to the NFL? What about Michigan's future? It's a big one. It's a big topic. There's so much we can talk about. There's so much I can't wait to get into. Can't wait to talk about the SEC. Can't wait to talk about the Big 12, Big 10. Can't wait to talk football. College football is coming, and I can't wait to talk about it. Going to be huge. NFL. Is Patrick Mahomes and them going to three-peat? What about the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams? How are they going to pan out? What about the Pittsburgh Steelers? They going to do anything? Joe Burrow returning? Are we going to see a Joe Burrow come back? The Los Angeles Rams? Aaron Donald retire? How's that defense going to look? Is Matt Stafford going to do better? San Francisco? Are you going to go back to the Super Bowl? About the Lions? Are they going to return to the playoffs? There is so much we could talk about and so much we're going to cover, and I'm so excited to get there. And I'm glad that I'm back here on this show. Football, basketball. If you want to cover more sports, jump to the Countdown 304. The Countdown 304 is available, and it has all the variety, plus a little bit debate, plus arguments, plus multiple other shows and series that we do within that show. So, anyway, little short episode today. Talk a little bit about NBA. We're getting ready to start college football in the NFL. Let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.